Hi everybody, we're here at the NCHA Bamacat Futurity. We're joined here today with Mr. Cade Shepard, the Limited Open Champion. Well done, Cade.
Thank you.
So recently gave up your non-pro card, jumped into the big pool. Didn't take you long to start getting into the winner's circle. Congratulations on your win. So tell us a little bit about, Crimsonnette. You've had this horse for a while from Madalyn Cowart. Tell us a little bit about the horse.
Yes, sir. She's a Bamacat out of Would She Be Neat, Anita's woodmare that Mr. Joel Colgrove owns. And she's a full sister to Bama Jelly. And they bred her and raised her, and Chet Semino started her and rode her as a 2-year-old. And we picked her up here at the Futurity last year.
Right. So a lot of foundation there for the Colgroves, obviously,
yeah.
and a lot of history there with your dad training Bamacat and showing him now in the World Finals too. What's it been like for you, the transition going from non-pro to open? I mean, how has it changed, the way you approach a show now or prepare for a show?
You definitely have to come with your A game every time you show. Yeah. You can't make many mistakes and things like that. And it's definitely been a lot tougher to learn, but it's good. Makes me take things a lot more serious, pay a lot more attention than I used to.
Yeah, well, and it's a different. You're competing now, instead of competing against the other non-pros, you're now competing against guys that you've looked up to, guys that have helped you along the way.
Yes, sir.
And your dad, obviously, you're competing against him. So what was that like last night? Like, going into those open finals, you were first horse out. What was that like for you? The extra pressure there.
I wasn't too nervous. I was more excited than nervous because we made it to the finals, and that was a goal of mine. And cattle settled great. Sean did a great job. Couldn't thank him enough, and it all just kind of worked out.
Yeah, well, and maybe being first, because those cows were a little tricky last night. Obviously, the second set was maybe a little trickier than the first set, a little pushy. But you, like you said, you were going in there with the mental picture, I guess, that these cows have settled good. They're going to be good, and so you weren't thinking any better, and you cut 3 pretty good cows.
Yeah, we went down there. My first cow was favorite cow when I walked in the arena. And then my second cow was good. Had a little trouble getting her cut, but once I got her cut, she was still a good cow. And then we had a few other cows we had talked about, but last cow, Dad told me, he said, if it walks out there, I wouldn't be afraid to cut it. And sure enough, when I turned around, she walked straight out. So it just kind of happened.
Well, it all came together for you, and it held up and ended up being the champion, winning a little over $21,000 last night, and also bumping you over the $1 million mark. I mean, how does it feel to be NCHA's newest $1 million rider?
It's pretty awesome. I knew it. I'd looked at it before we came here, but I totally forgot last night until somebody told me. Yeah. I wasn't thinking about it, but it's pretty cool.
Well, and then also an Open semi-finalist. That's,
yes,
I mean, how does that rank compared to the Limited Open finals, and you're also in the Open semi-finals?
Making the Open semi-finals is something I definitely didn't think was going to happen at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Showing in the non-pro and stuff, or even showing that mare. I'd ridden her a bunch earlier in the year when I was still a non-pro, getting her ready for Dad and everything, but I never thought we'd be where we are, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty impressive. And you've been lucky enough, to be associated with some really good horses, throughout your career and growing up in the non-pro and being able to show some really good horses. Talk a little bit about maybe a horse that's special to you.
Well, there's a lot. I've been very fortunate to get to show a lot of good horses. I'd say in the beginning, Twistful Thinking and Some Kind of Highbrow. When I was younger, they really taught me how to win. And won my first cutting in Will Rogers on Twistful Thinking, and then, probably those two to get me started, where I couldn't ask for anything better. And then Chexie Luella, when I won the Futurity on her, that was one of my favorites.
Yeah,
she's one of my favorites.
Well, on Twistful Thinking, obviously special connection there with Grandpa Sam,
yes,
the late Grandpa Sam, and that. But how is your daily life changed now from being a non-pro and kind of working your own horses to now all of a sudden, what's happened now? You got a list of horses you're working every day, and
yeah. I was pretty used to getting up every day and going to the barn and working, but I definitely get to work a lot more horses than I used to.
A little bit more structured for you now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, what's happening now with Crimsonnette? You've kind of got some time now between this and the Open semi-finals. What's it looking like?
Well, probably give her a day or two off, let her rest up, but she's a pretty She's a pretty playful horse, so
Yeah.
we'll get back to working her pretty soon.
Can't let her get too fresh.
No, sir.
Well, Cade, congratulations again. It's awesome to see you, have the success here, and especially at your first big open show, and to come out and do good. And tell you the truth, I mean, none of us are really surprised. You've done nothing but do great things in this arena, so it's great to see that carry on. And we wish you all the best for the Open Semis.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Be sure to tune in to CHC Live Scoring for more updates from the Futurity. And also thank you to Slow Ride and Bad Boon Rising for these updates.